Hi, Firebendals. I'm just tired, you know. I feel like every new animated series I get into has the same song and dance of, wow, this is so great. What's this? It was cancelled while season 1 was still going. They didn't tell anyone, so now the fandom has been arguing about that fact for a year, and season 2 has a sudden ending attached to it just as it's becoming popular. Oh geez, thanks for that. It's especially annoying with the story-based stuff. Like, come on, how the hell, after decades of shows like Avatar, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, The Owl House, and so on, becoming massive with audiences of teens, young adults, and older, have these studios not noticed the trend and decided, you know what, why don't we make a show directly targeted towards them? The best we get is IP adaptations like Arcane or Invincible, and even those don't give me the same feelings that the shows made for children, damn it! It's just exhausting how I can see a clear demand for a certain type of series and nobody's even trying to produce something to fill that void. Hell, I bet you money if any studio dropped everything to make a young adult animated series right now, that show would be massive. It would be beloved. It would be dumped on Netflix and go mostly unnoticed. Yeah, that sounds about right. Jentry Chau vs. The Underworld isn't a knockoff of Star or Scott Pilgrim, but it's actually a new, if you count basically 5 months late as new, Netflix animated series from Titmouse and Echo Goo. It's weird, normally I'd put facts about her on screen here, but outside of the 2016 short film The Wish Granter, she hasn't appeared to produce much. Not a criticism, I just love to know how to go from student film to series creator and take that past myself. I can ensure every studio that SpongeLiam the TV show would make the big bucks, I promise! Anyways, going back to Jentry, the show follows, well, Jentry Chau, a 16-year-old Chinese American with fire powers who must fight demons and save her soul from being stolen by the evil Mr. Chang. Ooh. On paper, this might sound like your typical action cartoon plot, and in some aspects, it is. Normal kid with powers fighting monsters that intersect with their typical down-to-earth life is something you have seen and will likely continue to. However, Jentry Chau to me feels much more aligned with something like The Owl House than Ben 10. It's less so monster of the week and also focused on building up his characters and lore. And, if I'm being honest, the way it handles some of those aspects is probably closest to, and I know this might sound crazy or off-putting for most of you, so please stay with me on this one, a teen drama. I want to live! I know, it sounds scary, but here, it really works to the show's benefit. As I said up earlier, this show is intended for young adults. Now, what does that mean? Well, first off, trailers uploaded to the main Netflix YouTube channel and not their side ones. What, that's not something you'll commonly notice? Yeah, as if. But I guess if you want something more related to the show itself, I got 3 characteristics to share. Number 1, teen focus. Teen dramas are made for teens, and honestly, I feel like it makes perfect sense here. The drama here is mostly about Jentry herself. A lot of series like this would choose to start with the moment she gained her powers, her introduction to the Underworld, but through stories her great Aunt Flora, aka Goo Turtle, she's already aware of a lot of these silly guys, and through almost burning the town down as a child, she's aware of her powers before the series even begins. Yeah, these powers are one of those curse and a blessing sort of things. Jentry is a very reluctant hero in that way, afraid to use them as much as she has to. All she truly desires is to be seen as a normal teen by the town, but due to the circumstances she was born into, she struggles with it. It adds a lot of layers to her character, alongside relatability. But it can be more relatable, cause what's scarier than demons or uncontrollable powers? That's right, romance. Yes, a love triangle, where one side is easily the correct answer and the other has so many red flags that I can't get into without spoiling everything, but just so you know, I'm aware he has his good aspects, but also at the same time, ew. Michael is the GOAT, and I'm not hearing any other takes on this. But yeah, these elements really help build up the characters in ways I haven't seen a lot of other mainstream cartoons do. Meaning they're so messy, y'all, oh my god. They love but still hold each other, they keep secrets and have motivations that aren't always best for everyone. Villains have moments where you understand their pain and actions, and in general, you may go from loving to hating every character in a moment's notice. Particular shout out to Goo Goo. She may fit into the wise mentor camp, but she still has her own motivations behind training Jentry to harness her powers. Every single action she did either made me love her or think she was god-awful and deserved a life sentence, and honestly, the many layers she had made her really compelling. In general, every character was well written with plenty of layers. Everyone here is an onion. Okay, maybe with the exception of Vice Principal Realo, who is just a douche for no reason half the time. I love having one character who just objectively sucks. Number 2, not holding punches. Remember when Amphibia, spoiler alert for the season 2 finale of that show, got it? Okay, good. Stabbed Marcy right through the chest, so they had to delay the episode and put a warning in front of it? Yeah, that was crazy. But forget about that, Gugu dies on screen in the first episode. Obviously, she comes back as a ghost, but it goes to show that this series isn't really worried about appealing to younger audiences. Characters can die and the stakes are real. Now, of course, this is still a young adult show and it's only rated TV PG, so it's not a blood fest, but I think it helps it stand out, especially with the demons themselves. These guys are creepy and the show isn't afraid to make you feel as such. It's very nice to see. Number 3, reality. Y'all don't know how happy I was to watch a show that could actually say TikTok. Yes, this being produced for a teen audience, as silly as it sounds, means the show can actually name drop real pop culture references for once. No more glib glob or cat video website, we're in the real world now and we're making TikToks. I know it's silly, but I honestly find it a little refreshing to hear phrases like God for once instead of family-friendly substitutes, even if a few of them have become iconic in their own right. It also helps that the show grounds itself in real Chinese mythology and culture, alongside a lot of text and stuff. From it, I learned that towns are randomly burned to the ground, I should avoid the state fair if I don't want heartburn and to get stepped on, and the Alamo is questionably problematic, and if you go there, ghosts will possess you and make you try to kill your friends. Thanks for the lesson, Jentry. Now I know everything I said so far makes this sound like the greatest TV show ever, an all-timer, maybe even the greatest thing to ever happen ever. But I have a few nitpicks with it, and the biggest of which has to do with Netflix themselves and their stupid dumb release strategies. Not only because I experienced the whole thing within a week, but also because it feels like how quickly they cancel new shows nowadays affected how they wrote the season. Without giving away too many details, episode 10 is a season finale. It wraps up the story so far, it's a big climactic showdown, and it ends on a note that teases a big twist for another season to explore. And we got that other season, in the form of 3 episodes thrown on to the end. Listen, I can't blame them for not wanting the show to have any loose ends, and these episodes are mostly solid, but you can feel the lack of breathing room in them. There's big decisions being made that happen way too quickly, a breakup so sudden I didn't realize it happened until 2 episodes later, and it ends on a pretty definitive status quo change that did get me emotionally, but it feels like the show closing the door on coming back without a huge amount of changes. But honestly, I'm gonna choose to ignore that because this show is so cool, man. Jentry Chau is the kind of YA animated series I've been craving studios to make, with so much lore, twists, drama, action, depths, and so much more. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it already. Unsure if the door is still open for them making more, but I would love to see it. Watch Invincible Fight Girl. That's also pretty good, aired around the same time, kinda fits into the same niche, though it's more of an anime style, and the more I talk about it right now, the more I realize I need to make a video on that too. Okay, I'll put it on the list, but first, I still have those Moon Girl crossovers to talk about. And then, of course, I have to make a farewell video to that show. And of course, I really would love to talk about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I sure have a lot to say about Win or Lose, and I want to finally talk about the Sonic movies, and I promise to follow up to Zombies and to finally get back to SpongeBob content by talking about the movies. And then, of course, I want to make another finales-like video on a general topic surrounding cartoons. So yeah, expect that one in 2028.